Is there a connection between ADHD and dyslexia and trauma?
And trauma?
And trauma. And second part of that question, is ADHD a superpower that is just misunderstood?
A superpower? Yeah. I was diagnosed with the condition myself in my 50s. But I never bought into the idea that this is a genetic disease. In fact, I didn't think it was either genetic nor is it a disease. The tuning out, which is the hallmark of ADD, the absent-mindedness, what is it actually? Why does nature give us the capacity to tune out? Well, it's very simple. If I was to stress you right now, make you really uncomfortable, you'd have healthy options. What would they be? Walk out? Or to tell me to back off? Fight or flight, right? But what if you didn't have those options? Then what would you do? You wouldn't do anything. Your brain, one of the defenses your brain would adapt would be to tune out. So my personal history, some of you know it, is I was a Jewish infant under the Nazis in Budapest, Hungary. You can imagine what my first year was like in terms of the emotional states of my mother, whose parents had just been killed in Auschwitz. Her husband is away. She doesn't know if he's dead or alive, and we're under threat ourselves. That was my first year. A lot of stress. Could I escape or fight back? No. I tune out. But when am I tuning out? When my brain is developing. So the tuning out gets wired in as the default setting of my brain. 50 years later, I'm diagnosed with this so-called disease. It's not a disease. It was a coping mechanism that originally served a purpose. Later on, it didn't. So yeah, now why are we seeing more? Now, if anything is genetic, we shouldn't be seeing it increase, should we? Because genes don't change in a population. If all of a sudden in China, they're having ADHD where they never used to have it, there's a reason for it. I think ADHD is a response to stress. I think learning difficulties are very often the impact of stress in the utero even, because we already know that stress on the pregnant woman, not her fault. We're not blaming the parents here. No parent chooses to be stressed. That's a condition of living in this culture. Parents do their best. Parents really do their best. And it's not the question, do they love their kids or are they devoted? Sure they are. The question is how stressed they are. So depressed mothers, for example, they love their kids just as much as any other mother, but they can't attune with the child as well as a non-depressed mother. Not their fault. The brain won't let them. Those kids are more likely to develop ADHD. And I think the same thing is true with learning difficulties. Now, that answers that part of the question. And if that's not satisfactory, just ask again. The second question, this business of superpowers, I don't go there. What is true is a lot of people with ADHD or bipolar disorder or depression or addictions are very talented, creative, wonderful people. But that's not because of their condition. It's because of what underlies their condition. And what underlies their condition is the only thing that's genetic, which is sensitivity. Now, the more sensitive you are, the more spontaneous, the more creative, the more joyful you're going to be when the circumstances are right. But when things go wrong, you're going to hurt more, even more.